lot of hyperbole surrounding the market, frankly speaking. I know there's been claims being put out that, AI will be transformative to the retail industry. But frankly speaking, in my experience having actually invested in that space for the last 5 years, I can say with almost absolute certainty, as well as the fact that I've conducted actual research into AI applications in the industry, right? Especially in commercial applications, there will be very little, if any, significant changes of AI's transformation in industry. But of course, to address the immediate question, the three largest implementations that I feel will be significant to retail, first and foremost, will be a significant impact on the inventory systems, the logistics in the supply chain, i.e., just-in-time inventory will come more into vogue because there's stronger ability for the engines used to do predictive demand as well as supply optimization, right? So just-in-time inventory is a concept that we all already have used in retail and logistics, but it will be even more efficacious with the applications of the predictive algorithms in AI. I think the second area that will see a lot of adoption will be in dynamic pricing, right? Dynamic pricing across each segregated market segment. So in the past, a lot of retailers, I believe they had spent a lot of their time and effort thinking about their target demographic and what is the appropriate price structure, especially relative to the competition. That being said, because it is a very low-cost tool to implementation, when everyone does dynamic pricing, it also means that no one's really doing dynamic pricing anymore, right? Because each AI agent will be interfacing with its competition, and therefore the prices will still come to a kind of general consensus. And last but not least, I think one of the largest implementations of or implications of AI will be in doing more creative and targeted marketing. Most promising investment opportunities, I would say, it's really when there's a gold rush, sell spades, right? So actually, ironically, the opportunities does not lie in the retail companies or users developing their own AI models and all that. That will be a huge waste in investment, actually, in my opinion. Primarily because of the compute resources required to actually train any such model and agent. And then if you want to have it fine-tuned to the specific business's niche, it's not entirely necessary. What I see happening more so actually is just the usage of AI as a tool, much like in a way we all use Excel or PowerPoint. It's a tool, it's an efficiency tool, right, to increase productivity. So because of that, the investment opportunity therein lies in the service providers actually providing such tools, right? For example, a retail player who is very strong in e-com, if he develops an AI tool that complements other e-com platforms or players, he will be the one to win in the gold rush because he's providing the tool to the rest of the players who are trying to adopt such a solution, right? If you do a bit more of an upstream view or macro analysis, of course, at the ground level, cost of energy would, or the requirement for energy to train such models and run such models during their inference stage will be dramatically increased as well. As such, investing in energy infrastructure certainly would be something that would be hugely valuable moving forward, as well as compute resources in the form of data centers. But the major challenges will be overinvestment, frankly speaking. Overinvestment by retail players into AI solutions that yield little, if any, benefit whatsoever. Because you just have to imagine the scenario that AI tools and solutions will be very cheap. And when everyone adopts these solutions, your adoption of a more expensive or the same solution to a greater extent might not necessarily help you achieve a competitive advantage in a way that, say, investing that same resource into bettering your product or service might have, right? So if you go back to basics, for example, if you secure a very good location for your storefront, that probably will go leagues and miles way better in your advantage in terms of a sustainable competitive advantage versus your attempt to adopt, a newfangled AI solution to do even more precise, pricing prediction or dynamic aspects of this. This kind of advantages will be competed away very quickly and very easily. I think in a part of the world, there's already news coming in about the ban of social media, right? For those under a certain age, right? The minors. I think it's a good move, frankly speaking, but it only serves to kind of be a nascent sign of the increasing regulation that will come into the space, especially when AI, or more specifically, the usage of AI, will be necessarily seen to have adverse interests on society as a whole. Case in point, for example, if we all give up, our personalized data to third-party agents for the purposes of targeted marketing, on the surface of it, it seems kind of rather harmless. But then actually, pragmatically, what this would give rise to is discriminatory pricing, right? And discrimination in any form is largely frowned upon in Western society, as you might imagine. For example, what if the same product or service gets priced higher towards someone from a certain Caucasian demographic versus someone from a more native demographic? Necessarily, in terms of economics, this seems fine, but in terms of regulation and impact on society, someone's going to intervene. So this is one of the forms of regulatory intervention that will see increasing adoption. Even this current legislature that was introduced about reducing or banning the access of minors to social media, we got to ask ourselves the important question of, is it what it claims to be only? Because by virtue of effecting this ban of social media on minors, necessarily it also requires the providers of such services, the social media services, to be able to track data on whom exactly are consuming their services, right? Their content. And that data obviously goes beyond just the minors. And now we're just talking about age. What other data attributes now, because of law, they have to track from the consumer? And hence, this data points who has access to them and what do they intend to do with it. So this is a very critical question because it goes beyond just, what appears to be a simple ban of social media consumption. This regulation eventually will spread into multiple other facets that could limit, for better or worse, access to certain services, or perhaps even target certain demographics from access to these services. Forward to seeing everyone there, and we're glad to discuss with all participants as to how to better utilize and adopt AI. But in truth, we all know that it is what it is, and let's not make too much of a mountain of a molehill, right? AI is just a tool. Yeah.